Hey there, good morning. I'm John. Today is Monday, August 7th, 2023. This is my daily vlog. If you've been here before, you know I was laid off some months ago. Rather than jumping right into the workforce, I'm trying to take my hobby of content creation and see if I can make that sustainable. Not yet, but there have been inroads. And each day I get up in the morning and report how I'm doing and how I am both statistically and mentally and emotionally and all that kind of stuff, just as almost an exercise to keep myself going and also maybe informational for somebody else who might try to attempt this in the future or right now, who knows. Let's get started by talking about, not yesterday, but Friday. So Friday, you may recall, I had intended to work really hard on the next tier ranking video, and I didn't think I would get out another long form video, but the Postal Service changed my mind for me, and delivered the next of the Atari XP cartridges. Now it's the last two, and you can see I'm 9 up there. I just have one left. So on Friday after lunch, when the mail had arrived, I said, you know what, I'm going to scramble and get this video done, because you might remember last week that was short, I was able to get a couple of videos done because of how I had I created like a routine to get those done. It was very systematic and kind of assembly line. Anyway, the point is, because I've done 8 or 9 of them at this point, I was able to knock another one out in the afternoon. So that video has done, over the weekend, about 3,500 views, so right on average for a good video for us. I'm happy with that. And then in the afternoon on Friday, we recorded, for the first time in 4 weeks, we recorded 2 more episodes of the podcast. So that means tomorrow will be a podcast editing day. We haven't done that in a little while. We'll be right back on that horse tomorrow morning. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. So let's talk about stats. Then we talked about that video that did pretty well. I was happy that even though last week was a short week for me, having Monday off, luckily, right in the 11th hour there, I was able to get one more long form video out the door to kind of keep the momentum kind of cooking. So when we spoke on Friday, I don't think we talked about subscribers, but we were just shy of 34,1. And over the weekend, from that Friday afternoon through till right now, we've gained a little over 200 subscribers. So not 100 a day, but more like 60, 70 a day. But it's resulted in now our subscribers have now hit 34,200 and change. That's awesome. That means, I made some kind of a raw estimate about when we might hit 34, but as you can see, it's a couple hundred every 3 days or so. So if you look at, we need 8 more, 3 days, 20. So maybe by the end of the month, maybe a little ahead of the end of the month or so. But mid-month, you'll remember, is when I would expect things to start picking up, because we have that sneak peek of unreleased product that we're going to talk about around the 18th. So I would say 34 by the end of the month is not irrational. Irrational. Okay. So let's talk about today. Today, then, I'll resume working on the tier video. I actually did work on the tier through the morning on Friday, but then over the weekend I kind of did a little more because I had a lot of stuff half done. But I'm at the point now where all the writing is done. The tier is created. All of my research is finished. I need to record footage, assemble said footage, and this one has stuff I have to blur out because it's pretty explicit on these old games, some of them. And then do the stand-up and record. So that's typically not something that I can get done in one day. So realistically, probably we're looking at a Tuesday release is my guess. Now, even though Tuesday is largely podcast related, my expectation is that next tier video I should be able to get out by tomorrow, Wednesday at the latest. I would love to be Tuesday. So we'll just see how tomorrow goes and how long the edit takes and yada yada. And what else I can get done today, quite frankly, how much I can get accomplished. So before I go, I want to talk a little bit about, to the tune of that tier video that I'm doing. I forget how it came up in a message somewhere. Oh, it was on this vlog. Yeah, so I'm guessing it's someone who just found the vlog recently or just popped in and visited, but heard me one day yesterday talking about editing the tier video. And the comment that came back, I didn't note who it was, I'm sorry, said, oh, you're doing another tier video, great. I noticed that you didn't do a poll over in the community channel of GenXGrownUp. And totally right, accurate. What it's taught me is, taught is a strong word. It's more like, it's like all these assumptions of YouTube that people have, and then when evidence starts to appear to reinforce those, it's like, it's not so much I realized it, but I'm like, oh, now this has supporting evidence. And that is, we talked before about anyone that tries to create and establish any kind of a brand on YouTube, they're going to ask you, what are the tricks? What are the, well, there are no tricks, right? It's put in the work, maybe you'll get lucky, but there are things you can do to hedge your bets. And this is one of those things that I was trying to do, and the commenter the other day who helped me reinforce that it's working, right? So when I started doing these tier videos, we did the Activision. And then right away I said, well, that was great, I want to do another one. Let's try doing a poll. So I picked 4 that I could do, and I put up a poll, people voted, and I did the next one. And I did this like 4 times in a row. And it almost to a point, people have become conditioned, because in the comments of the video would be like, don't even bother doing the poll next time, just do this next, do these next. So it was expected. And I didn't do one for this last one because it's a little bit of a, I wouldn't say it's a surprise so much, but it's not one that people would vote for per se, but it's one that a lot of people kind of ask for, and I think it has good potential because of its, you know, mildly scandalous nature. But the thing that this reinforces is, for me, is that back and forth dialogue with, once you get any sort of an audience, if that audience is 10 people or 10,000 people, once you get an audience who are regularly interested in what you have to say, it's cultivating that relationship cannot, I don't think it can be overstated, because look, if they're there to see what you're doing and you say, great, tell me what you think about that and do more, and you actually respond and you react to that and you do them more. I'm not talking about taking a left or right turn every time there's a comment that disagrees with what you're doing. I'm saying pull in the aggregate data. What are the majority of people saying? What are you hearing? When I hear people say, I don't know, I can think of a great example other than what we're just talking about. You know, I did a literal poll for that. A bunch of people said, hey, we wish you wear your hat backwards. And everybody said that. Well, guess what? I'm spinning my hat around, because the preponderance of people are interested in hearing that. And even if you don't stick with it, you try it, because it shows you're listening and you're interacting. You're like, yeah, a bunch of people said, turn my hat around. Look, I did. I turned my hat around. And then, like, people know, you know, it's like a mass shout out of we said last week that some people think once you get to a certain size that you're inaccessible, that you're not going to listen, you're not going to respond to comments. Well, that's not true, but they don't know that. And then when you react to their suggestions and their input, now you've created this dialogue back and forth where it's not only do they want to see what you're doing next, they want to tune in to see how they've impacted it. You know, it's like if you send in a letter to your favorite comic book and you open the next one, you want to see if your letter's in the book. You know, it's almost when you know the creator will respond and you know that creator is accessible and is listening and is having a discussion. They don't have to drive your world for you, but if you will react to that and acknowledge that without those people watching, you don't have anything, give them something back, and it's starting to pay off for me. And look, there's nothing earth-shattering about listen to your audience and do, you know, and let that inform you. I'm doing that. It's this reinforcement that I'm finding how to do that. It's one thing to say it, it's another to understand exactly what they're saying when they say that advice. And that's, I think, what I'm discovering here, which is there is a way to listen to your audience and engage with your audience on a regular basis, like we've been doing with puzzles every day and that kind of thing, that I think has a net sum benefit. It's not easy and it's not instantaneous. It requires work every day. Not a lot of work, not ditch digging, but it requires effort to do. And I've been trying to do that effort to see, and I'm starting to see where the same regular people are there all the time, engaging, making comments, and noticing when their comments are being observed and respected and acknowledged. So just another one of those little operational YouTube nuggets that I have found to be true. Look, if you ask people for YouTube advice, everybody will have advice for you. You have to figure out which ones are true and which ones are true for you and how you're able to work. And so this is one that I found that is working for me and is paying off. So there's that for, you know, if that'll help you at all in your journey, if you're trying to do this image or a comparable journey. I don't think YouTube is special. It's people are on there too, wherever you're working, hearing and acknowledging those people, probably going to give you a better relationship with them and better for you in the long run. Okay, that's it for me today. I'm going to get busy, see how much I can accomplish, catch up on the tier, prep for the podcast edit tomorrow, meeting with the guys this afternoon, and that's going to knock out my day. So thanks for stopping in today if you did. If you're here every day, you know that I love you for that. Thank you so much for being part of my support system. I want you to have a fantastic Monday. Find time to do something good for yourself if at all possible, and I'll talk to you again next day. Bye-bye.